For example, you should know, hypothetically, or we need a refresher, and that's okay, the square root of 200. We want to simplify that, because if you take the square root of 200, you get a decimal, and obviously you don't want a decimal answer. So we simplify it. Some of us have cool calculators that do it for you, but I'm asking you to think about it because your calculator probably will not do the higher roots today for you. You're going to have to do it. So you look at the chart that's on the front of your notes, or you think, what's the largest perfect square that 200 divides by evenly? The largest, I lost it. Where'd it go? The largest perfect square it divides by is, the largest perfect square that 200 divides by is 100. So I put that first, the perfect one. 100 times 2. And then we know that the square root of 100 is a perfect square.
10.
The square root of 100 is 10. And so you put 10 out in front. It's 10 times the square root of 2. And that's it. 10 root 2. So that's what we're doing today, but with like cube roots, fourth roots, fifth roots. So today the difference is that instead of just doing it with square roots, you're going to do it with cube roots, fourth roots, fifth roots. So we're going to take 135 now, and we're going to use that chart at the front, the perfects, to find what's the perfect cube that 135 divides by. We put the perfect cube first. It's the cube root of 27 times the cube root of, what was it? 5. 27 times 5 is 135. And now we take the cube root of this one. We just said it. The cube root of 27 is 3. Because 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27. 5. So that's your final answer. Once you take the cube root of 27, it is not in a root anymore. That's a common mistake I see. You need to figure out what is a perfect, and you're like this, the perfect fourth that 243 divides by. So go to your chart and find it. So I break it up as a fourth root of 81 times the fourth root of 3, and then we go ahead and take the fourth root of 81. You can use your chart again or flip back if you need to. What is it? 3. And so that is my answer. It comes out of the root. The other one stays in the root. It's not perfect. And then that should be it. We are just simplifying roots today, same way we've done before. It's just that your index, the number in the crook, is going to be bigger than 2. When you have roots that have the same index, like you see here in the crook, they're both 3. That means you can go ahead and multiply or divide or whatever operation you have. So this is multiplication. So we're going to literally go ahead and multiply those two numbers together to get me the cube root of, what is 12 times 18? 216. All right. And then once you get it into singular root, if you can, then you go ahead and try and simplify it for me. So make sure you're looking at the correct column, the cubes. How do we simplify it? So because you can actually take the cube root of that, do not put the cube root of 6. The answer is just 6. 6 times 6 is 36, times 6 is 216. All right. Same thing happens kind of on number 14. You have the same index of 4. And so we can go ahead and do this operation, which is division. Another way we could write this is as the fourth root of 80. Oh, sorry, I had to do that again. Sorry. Big root. Fourth root of 80 divided by 5. Which, if you type that in your calculator, 80 divided by 5, it's 16. So the fourth root of 16 is what we're trying to simplify now. Go to your chart. Go to the fourths. The fourth root of 16 is just 2. That's your answer. if I do this division, what are we taking the cube root of? 104. Okay. So go to your perfect cubes and try and find something 104 divides by. So I would always check and see if there's anything bigger, but I'm pretty sure that's it. The cube root of 8 is the only perfect cube it divides by. If I do 104 divided by 8, I get 13. Okay, and then I go ahead and figure out, okay, what is the cube root of 8? We will do this one so often, you should know it. What is it? 2. 2, and then that remains the cube root of 13. Because that is not perfect, the 8 is. To split it up then as 2 separate roots. The cube root of 81 on the top over the cube root of 8. It's the same way of writing different way of writing the same thing. We'll deal with the 81 in a second. Look at the bottom, or at the denominator. What's the cube root of 8? 2. Okay, it's getting a little bit better. So the cube root of 81 over 2. Okay, we need to simplify that cube root of 81. 81 appears a lot in the table, but is it in the cube root column? No. No. So please be careful, because I know a lot of people will probably be like, 3. No, it is not. Should be 27, I think. If I divide by 27, it's 27 times 3. So you're going to break up this root in the top. The cube root of 27 times the cube root of 3 all over 2. And then you evaluate this guy since it's perfect. What is the cube root of 27? It's 3, because 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. Don't expect you to memorize it. Do expect you to know how to use the chart. So I'm just not going to flip back there right now. 3, cube root of 3 over 2. I'll go there in a second. Will be my final answer. You want to simplify as much as you can. So as a sidebar, if you have an odd root, such as, for example, the cube root of -8. When you see a negative in a root, what do you immediately think? I, right? Which is the case when it's a square root, or actually any even root. But good news for you. When it's an odd root, actually there's not an I, because what number times itself 3 times gets me -8? -2. Yeah, the cube root of 8 is 2, but if I do -2 times -2 times -2, I should get -8. The reason why is because, right, this would get me +4, and then +4 times -2 gets me -8, okay? So the answer here is not 2i, but -2. Common mistake I anticipate seeing that I want to talk about now. Also, you will see a negative on number 3 of your assignment. So do not do an I if it's an odd root, because any odd number of negative number will get me a negative.